When designing your batters or daylights, it's often a requirement to have the projection point where it intersects the surface, striking at either a minimum offset or a maximum offset. You can now achieve this with a custom variation. So if we have a look at variations and we open up custom variations, there's a custom variation to project to a surface with minimum, maximum offset. If you don't see this variation, you can click on Download Scripts to download it to your current script settings. As per any other variation, start by selecting the start and end range. What this variation will do is actually add a code, and that code can be projected to any surface that you have in the drawing. When specifying the surface projection slope, you have the option to input using rise over run or percentage slopes. Let's do the slope inputs based on percentage. You can see that there's a start and end for cut and fill, so you can transition linearly across that range. What makes this variation different to other batter or daylight overrides is the fact that you've got a minimum offset control and a maximum offset control for that projection point. But let's apply this change. So we can see we have a 1 in 5 slope. There's an alignment right here, and we can see that we're going to go past the alignment in this cross section. So what we can do is go back to the variation. We can restrict the maximum offset, and you can do that by specifying an alignment, using a polyline, a fixed offset from the center line, or width from the last code. Let's use the alignment in the drawing. After picking the alignment, you also have the options on how to manage the projections to achieve the maximum offset. Let's go with steepen slope for now. So what that does is limits the projection offset so that the alignment is met and adjusts the slope. There are multiple options for achieving a surface projection with maximum offset. One other option is that we form a vertical wall at the end. You can position that wall either at the end of the projection or alternately at the start. Another method to achieve maximum offset is to specify a second slope. So if we say let's make the second slope at 100%, then what the software will do is it will work out a split point so that you basically have this steeper slope happening only where required in order to meet that particular maximum offset. So if we change the rule here, the maximum offset is based on, we could set the offset, say, a distance from the center line. So what we see now is the offset here is exactly 10 from the center line, and we're splitting that slope up in a different way in order to achieve the result. So that's what your options are for maximum offset. If we have a look at, say, doing something on the right side, there are 2 polylines on the right side we could use. So on the right side we will come out at a 1 in 5, and this time what we'll do is we'll turn off the maximum offset control and we'll go for a minimum offset control. We're going to do this with a polyline. So we pick the minimum offset polyline as the option we would like, we select the polyline and we apply. What we can see here is that the daylight or projection, when the width will be less than that polyline, is extended out until it meets that polyline for offset control. With this custom variation, you can control both the minimum and maximum offsets achievable for your batter or daylight projections.